Remember, no one can represent you, and you can't represent you. You can present you.
I appreciate that.
As soon as you say represent, you create an artificial jurisdiction.
Okay, and a closely related point is the doctrine of idem sonans. And idem sonans means if the thing sounds the same, it is the same. It may be treated as the same, which allows a court or judge to, if your name is Terry Williams, it doesn't matter whether it's spelled T-E-R-I, T-E-R-I-E, T-E-R, anything that would phonetically make the same sound falls under the law or doctrine of idem sonans. Okay? Now that's my point about putting, you know, one of the things that my opinion is that I've been successful at going before administrative officers and presenting myself. They call the name.
Yes.
Okay. And I go before the administrator and I say, my name is T. Williams Bay. I'm
special appearance.
Yeah, making a special appearance by limited appearance, special appearance, restricted appearance, and I say I'm representing or I'm appearing in the matter of the case and the number that they've cited, and then they say, where's the defendant at? And I told the hearing officer, the defendant, as you call him, that person in all caps, is an artificial person. He's not a natural, he's not a man or woman.
He's not a breathing entity.
Yeah, so I say he can't appear. I'm appearing for him. So I'm separating myself from the artificial entity.
Yes, XREL.
Appearing it. And I've been effective at doing that, you know, a couple of times. And so one of the things that I do is that I don't want to be caught up in idem sonans. So I feel that as long as I'm coming before an administrator saying I'm the natural person appearing for the artificial person who doesn't really exist in life, it's appropriate for me to let that legal entity, that artificial entity, appear in the legal name that my mother and father, you know, put on the birth certificate they were tricked into signing in the hospital delivery room. And then when I appear in my natural, and when I present my true self, I
understand your argument. Your argument on the principle of law is valid. However, they can still get you on fraud for transacting business in the European names. They still have jurisdiction. Now, you can bounce around them, and they probably will, you know, give you a little bit of leeway because your consciousness will teach people it's in that court. And I'm sure sometimes they'll clear the court, according to what, you know, who's there. Which you already know, a lot of times Moors in the court, they'll clear the court. Because they don't want the Asiatics to learn. But the deal of it is, recognize this. The principle of improprium persona sui juris, for you to have standing at law, you already know that if you're in there, even if you're not pleading, if you're dealing in that jurisdiction, it's just like pleading. So you're in the jurisdiction because you're arguing it. So the court has jurisdiction because you just gave it. Then you're transacting business in their name, and you gave it. However, this straw man, as a benefit to yourself that you are dealing with this matter, you're dealing with the matter of an instrument or being, though straw, that still belongs to them. You see where I'm coming from?
Yes.
Now, what they can do, because they see you know a little bit, is, because they don't want anybody else start doing this, is, you know, chill out a little bit, or tell you sit down, they'll deal a few other cases and bring you back because they want to reduce the numbers of people in court. And they might reduce stuff, or etc. Yes, or sometimes just dismiss it, but they're not going to do it all the time. What we want to do, and what we're leading to do, is whereas the people claim their right to travel, that they no longer use these instruments. And we're working towards it not being necessary, a necessity for you to have to use this to impede your free travel of the land, particularly by a foreign entity using foreign law in corporate capacity and listing the people fraudulently as corporations and then binding them to these obligations that you would have it in the first place only to keep the highwaymen off you, which is why you're doing it, which I understand why you're doing it. And then having to learn, you know, it's like jumping in the doo-doo pool, talking about, yeah, I'm jumping in the doo-doo pool, but, you know, the sis turned me on and stuff, and, you know, I'm learning how to swim through the doo-doo. Well, no. Let's start talking about not jumping in the doo-doo pool. and let's start getting it going in that direction. You know, rather than learning the art of fighting people who are actually criminally abusing you. So we're going to deal with suits against the driver's license first as an identity. So the ultimate argument that I'm presenting to you today is what you're going to start writing to the so-called representatives is commanding the production and the institutioning and the institutionalization of a national identity card for the United States Republic, Central North America. Now, and that's going to make the ball roll on a lot of other stuff, including this thing with the driver's license, which we're going to get rid of. Sis, and you, that sis, and sis, because they had their hand up before. Sis, real quick.
Actually, they do have a national identity card. They do have a national identity card out, but it's not for the Republic. But, and also what I want to say was the brother I was telling you about that was taking up the suit with the IRS.
Yes.
He has been driving 10 years without his driver's license.
Mm-hmm. Not his, without theirs.
Without their driver's license, and he demonstrated how he was doing it. Like you said, he bought the car all cash,
Yes.
and he got the certificate of origin from the manufacturer.
Yeah, we already know that. And let me mention this to you: when you're buying these vehicles, always make up a bill of sale.
Yes, he did that too.
No, just always make up a bill of sale and keep it with you.
And he laminated all the laws that correspond with right to travel. So every time they pull him over, he presents it to them, and they always have to let him go because they know that he's not in their jurisdiction.
Now, this is what you all need to know about the driver's license and your right to travel. 3 minutes, real quick.
This is my first time hearing this information. I just want to know, what is the UCC dash?
There's Uniform Commercial Codes. Now, the UCC-207, yeah, 1-207 and 103. Basically what it is, I'm going to tell you real quick. There's specifics preserving your rights, but it looked like this. They locked you out of the Constitution with the War Powers Act. Those UCCs, because they're dealing with commercial codes, really is for their protection to let you back in. But when you get back in, you better be in your proper person. That's basically what they are. And what they do, preserve your rights. And so that they don't have, like, say some kind of small print in the contract or something untoward and hold you to it. That you preserving your rights and there's no implications or implied adhesions, etc., that are valid as far as an argument of theirs. But ultimately and truthfully, what it is commercial law putting you in a commercial commerce as opposed to natural person constitution. So basically what that is that's a doorway. So if they make any laws that they're actually governing the people with that's outside of constitutional law, they must leave within that a remedy for you. And that's the remedy. And I say to you, that's the remedy to get back to the Constitution and constitutional principles or to the common law and use it. Use it in that capacity only, but not as a superior to the Constitution, as a remedy to get back to the Constitution. But if you're going to talk de jure Constitution law, and we're dealing with these licenses, which automatically put you into that commerce thing, then you must do what? Get back to the Constitution and hold those persons to that Constitution, because that's where the obligation is. Because outside of that, you're the law. All right. Islam, trust me, did something good.
I want to apologize because we really got to go because we only have 3 hours and we're supposed to be out of here. I want to thank you for coming out. Irvin couldn't show up. He had a situation with his mother.